During the past 10 years, the Sharia-compliant finance and banking sector has seen significant growth globally. In many countries with a significant Muslim population, there has been increased demand for financial products and services that are compliant with Islamic principles and values. The global market for Sharia-compliant financial products, including bonds, sukuk, insurance, and banking, has expanded rapidly, with assets under management estimated to be worth over $3 trillion. In several countries, such as Malaysia, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, Islamic finance has become a significant part of the financial sector, with a growing number of Sharia-compliant financial institutions offering a range of products and services. The development of Sharia-compliant financial products has also led to increased innovation in the sector. For example, Sharia-compliant mutual funds and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, have become increasingly popular, providing investors with more options for diversifying their portfolios. Additionally, Sharia-compliant crowdfunding and peer-to-peer platforms have emerged, providing alternative sources of financing for individuals and businesses. However, there have also been challenges faced by the Sharia-compliant finance and banking sector. The lack of standardization and harmonization of Sharia principles and practices across different countries and financial institutions has led to issues of regulatory and legal consistency. Additionally, there is a need for greater transparency and disclosure in the sector, particularly with regards to the investment of Sharia-compliant funds. Overall, the last 10 years have seen significant growth and expansion in the Sharia-compliant finance and banking sector, with increased demand and innovation. However, there is still room for improvement in terms of standardization and transparency in the sector. The BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have seen varying degrees of development and growth in the Sharia-compliant finance and banking sector in the last 10 years. In India, the sector is still in its infancy, but there has been growing interest in Sharia-compliant finance in recent years, particularly among the Muslim community. There are a few Sharia-compliant banks and financial institutions operating in the country, but the sector is yet to gain significant traction. In South Africa, the Sharia-compliant finance sector has seen significant growth in recent years, with a number of Sharia-compliant banks and financial institutions operating in the country. South Africa is also home to the African Islamic Economic Foundation, which aims to promote and develop Islamic finance in the region. In China, the Sharia-compliant finance sector has been growing in recent years, particularly in the form of sukuk, Sharia-compliant bonds, issuance. The Chinese government has also been supportive of the development of Islamic finance in the country, recognizing its potential to attract investment from the Muslim world. In Russia, the Sharia-compliant finance sector is still in its early stages of development, with only a few Sharia-compliant financial institutions operating in the country. However, there has been increasing interest in the sector in recent years, particularly among the Muslim community in the country. In Brazil, the Sharia-compliant finance sector is still very small, with only a few Sharia-compliant financial institutions operating in the country. However, there has been growing interest in Islamic finance in recent years, particularly among the country's Muslim community. Overall, the Sharia-compliant finance and banking sector in the BRICS countries is still in its early stages of development, but there has been growing interest and growth in the sector in recent years. www.muslimfin.com